Good morning, everyone. I am Jhoanna Pabio, BSED and I am your teacher for today's video. Okay, good morning, class. Kindly stand up for the opening prayer. As we can lead the opening prayer. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Okay, did I give you an assignment yesterday, class? Okay, kindly pass your assignment in front. So before we proceed to our lesson, let's have first a short game. So I will divide the class into 4 groups. So this row will be the group 1, group 2, group 3, and group 4. Okay. I have here a white envelope. Inside this will be the cut out letters, and your task is to arrange the cut out letters to form the 2 letters. Okay. The first group who can finish first will be the winner. I will give you 5 minutes to do your activity. You may now start. Okay, thank you for your participation. But before that, let's have another activity. So I have here words or a group of words . So I have here group of words. So your task is to pick out from numbers 1 to 10 the example of adjective phrase. You may now start, class. I will give you 5 minutes. So let's check first if your answers are correct. Okay, from number 1 to 10, the example of adjective phrase are amazingly, surprisingly, very excited, with my friend, passionate girl, highly rude, and very difficult to solve. Okay, job well done, class. You all deserve a big round of applause. Okay, so by the way, class, how did you know? What did you observe about the activity? Yes, Gastanes? A phrase? But how did you know that it was a phrase? And why? Okay. To check if your answers are correct, let's go to our proper discussion. But before that, let's read first the objectives for today's lesson. Okay. At the end of the lesson, students are expected to first define adjective phrase, identify the types of adjective phrase, and lastly, able to use adjective phrase in a sentence. Okay, let's define first what is an adjective phrase. Okay, an adjective phrase is a phrase, a group of words with a subject-verb combination that modifies a noun or a pronoun. So let's differentiate adjective phrase from adjective. So adjective is a word that modifies a noun. Example, beautiful, smart, excited. While an adjective phrase is a group of words that modifies a noun. Example, amazingly, surprisingly, very excited, very difficult. Okay, example sentences. The movie was surprisingly good. Surprisingly good is an adjective phrase that modifies the noun movie. Another example. She is highly passionate girl. Highly passionate is an adjective phrase that modifies the noun girl. Okay. Adjective phrase can be found in other places. First, an adjective phrase can be found in the beginning of a sentence or before the noun it modifies. Another, adjective phrase can be found in the middle of a sentence or after the noun it modifies. Lastly, adjective phrase can be found at the end of a sentence. Okay, example. Your overly excited friend is tensing. Cartoneros, what did you observe about the sentence? Yes? Where is the adjective phrase found? Yes, very good. The adjective phrase found in the beginning of a sentence, which is you're overly excited. That modifies the noun friend. Okay. Another example. Betrayed by his girlfriend, Muno committed suicide. Okay, where is the adjective phrase? Yes, the adjective phrase found in the beginning of a sentence, which is betrayed by his girlfriend. That modifies the noun Muno. Okay, another example. A guy smarter than me will solve this puzzle. Okay, Tihakaw, what did you observe about the sentence? Yes? Where is the adjective phrase found? Okay, very good. The adjective phrase found in the middle of the sentence, which smarter than me modifies the noun guy. Another example. Wait, guys. Okay, another example. The girl wearing the blue t-shirt lives next to my house. So the adjective phrase is wearing the blue t-shirt. That found in the middle of a sentence before the noun it modifies. Okay, another example. Her behavior was highly rude. So what did you observe about the sentence that stands? Yes, the adjective phrase found at the end of a sentence, which is highly rude, that modifies the noun her. Okay, last example. The last question was very difficult to solve. Very difficult to solve is the adjective phrase found at the end of a sentence, which it modifies the noun question. Okay, sometimes an adjective phrase does not have an adjective. So sometimes it starts with one, a preposition. It can be starts with a participle and lastly an infinitive. So let's tackle first a preposition. Example. I don't like movies with no stories. With no stories is a prepositional phrase that starts with the preposition with. That works as an adjective, and since it's a phrase, it will be called an adjective phrase. Another example. I have a picture of your childhood. Of your childhood is a prepositional phrase that starts with the preposition of, that works as an adjective, and since it's a phrase, it will be called adjective phrase. Okay, let's move on to an adjective starting with a participle. So what is a participle, class? Okay, a participle is a word that is formed from a verb, which work as an adjective. Example. The guy sleeping on the floor is my friend. Sleeping on the floor is is a participle phrase that starts with a participle sleeping, which is a present participle that works as an adjective. But since it's a phrase, again, it will be called an adjective phrase. And sleeping on the floor modifies the noun guy. Another example, the shop built next to my house is huge. Built next to my house is a participle phrase that starts with a participle built, which is a past participle. And the built next to my house works as an adjective. And since it's a phrase, it will be called an adjective phrase. Now let's move on to an adjective starting with an infinitive. By the way, class, infinitive is to plus verb. For example, I don't know a person to trust blindly. To trust blindly is an infinitive phrase that starts with an infinitive to trust and works as an adjective. But since it's a phrase, it will be called an adjective phrase. Another example, he is the guy to look out for in the next match. To look out for in the next match is an infinitive phrase that starts with an infinitive to look that works as an adjective, and since it's a phrase, it will be called an adjective phrase. Any clarification? Questions? Okay, let's have your group activity number 2. Okay, go to your assigned group and answer this silently. So your task is to find out and encircle the adjective phrase. I will give you another 5 minutes to do your activity. You may now stop. Okay, so we are done to our activity. So let's move on to our evaluation to check if you truly understand our discussion. Okay, get a piece of paper and answer this silently. Okay, class, take note your assignment that will be passed tomorrow. Again, take note your assignment and it will be passed on by tomorrow. Okay, that is all for today, class. Class dismissed. Ano ba ako?